At ease, brothers. So how does one do it? How does a man bring himself out of the mud? How does a man take his life out of stagnation? How does a man, simply get to the next level in life? I'm gonna tell you this, brothers. Should a man meditate more? Should he get himself back in the church? Should he put himself back in the masjid? Should he put himself back in mass? Perhaps. Should a man read bigger books? Should he put himself in higher vibrating circles? These things will help. Should he spend time in solitude? Should he soak in the silence, is what I'm saying, brothers. All these things will benefit a man. But this is something I've learned over the last number of days, weeks, months, just by talking to a variety of brothers. And if y'all have tuned into my last few lives, man, I had brother William King Hollis on a few days ago. And he spoke on this frequency, right? I spoke to brother Rico Jefferson not too long before that, man. And he spoke about this same thing. I spoke to brother Supernova Slum. He mentioned this same thing, brother. And I'm noticing the common denominator between, the brothers that brought themselves out of the mud is simply they never quit. We can talk about all this other stuff, man. We can talk about, chanting certain words and going into the fifth dimension, man, and putting yourself amongst the right people. All those things will help, man. But brother, I'm telling you this, as long as you never quit, you can never lose. That's the common denominator, brothers. Go to any one store you want to. You'll notice the common denominator, man, is never quitting. We were just talking about this yesterday, brothers. In the circle, man. Like we talked about life on the bridge. After you come out of that stage of awareness, before you get to your full awakening, you got that transition period in the middle. We call the bridge, right? You have to understand, man, on that bridge, brother, you're gonna be being pulled from two different worlds. You're gonna have that old world still pulling at you, but you're gonna have that vision of what life will be like. Once you begin to fully walk in your I am, you begin to see what life can look like when you get to that destination. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand, man, you're being pulled between two different directions, right? And the thing is this, and this is what we were talking about yesterday, man. Sometimes, brother, you'll find yourself just kind of tiptoeing along. You'll know how you're supposed to be moving. You'll know where you're supposed to be. You'll know what energy you're supposed to be walking in. You'll know the actions you're supposed to be doing. But brother, sometimes we'll just tiptoe. We'll kind of tiptoe and look around. Every once in a while, you want to glance back at that old life and see if it's still popping, see if you still want to entertain it. And I'm telling you, brother, that happens to the best of people. But you have to understand this, brothers. You can never stop. You can never stop, man. You can never stop going forward. And what I mean by that is, every single day you wake up, you need to be doing something to go toward that goal, man. If you're trying to get fit, brother, I don't care if you go step in the gym for 3 minutes, do 2 sit-ups and do 5 minutes in the sauna, brother. Do something. Now, you're not getting much out of that, man, but you're still putting some action. Sometimes, brothers, let's just keep it real, man. Sometimes events can get us to the point of damn near stopping. It can put us in a place of almost being stagnant. You get out of a relationship you've been in for a long time, brother, and that might shake your world a little bit. Or your actions, the things you're doing every day, man, it might shake you up to the point where you're like, bro, I don't feel like doing nothing for the next couple of days. Maybe sit still for a week. They didn't cut your pay at work because they said they're trying to save jobs, so we taking 10% of your pay. And you ain't trying to hear that, brother. That might put you in the energy, man. But I'm telling you, brothers, as long as you don't quit, I found that you can never lose. Even when it gotten to the point, brother, where it seemed like I was just low crawling in life. Brother, it's about keeping moving, man. It's about never stopping. So I know you say, so what is it that makes a man never stop then? Like, I understand what you're saying, but what should a man be fueled by if he never wants to stop, man? I can tell you this, bro. I can tell you this. Most men, even though they think they do, most men don't have a mission in life. The majority of men, the brothers you know, they have no mission in life. And what I mean by that is, if you're waking up every single day and you're going to work and you're getting off and you're coming home watching whatever show come on now, and on the weekends you're doing a certain thing and you're talking to all your partners, you're talking about all these things you're trying to achieve, but you're going through doing the exact same motions. On Mondays and Fridays and Thursdays, you do the exact same thing. You hang out with the same partners. You know, you're planning the same weekend getaways. If that's your life, man, and all you're doing is talking about a thing, brother, you have no mission. You have absolutely no mission. And you'll quickly find out, man, that when a man lives his life without a mission, he has no fulfillment. He has no fulfillment. And when I say mission, I'm be clear, brothers. I'm not talking about, I plan on getting a new BMW that comes out. I plan on going to Fiji next summer. I plan on doing XYZ. That's not mission, brother. Those are trinkets along the way that a man can pick up, but that's not mission. And you'll quickly find out once you achieve these things, there's no fulfillment in it, brothers. You're steadily searching. Most men have no mission. Going back to the old saying, brother, who am I? Where am I going? What energy am I trying to spread throughout the world? What trade am I trying to share? What tune of music am I trying to share? What poetry? What book am I trying to share to the world? What message? What craft of mine? What service do I want to offer my brothers and sisters? Only until a man does that, man, does he have fulfillment. Only until a man taps into that does he have fulfillment, brothers. Try it. If you don't believe me, try it. Spend the next 10, 15 years of your life going out and buying the nicest things and getting the most extravagant of women and doing all these things. Brothers, you'll quickly find there's no fulfillment in it, man. So that's what I'm saying. Most brothers have no mission. So that's why a lot of men quit in life. If you have nothing that's giving you fulfillment, it's only a certain amount of time, man, before the trinkets, they run out of juice. They do nothing for you, man. And you find yourself in that stagnant life. Then you'll quickly find yourself going back to that old version of self, man. So one of the main reasons of keeping that energy of never stopping, brother, is define a mission, man. Define a mission. You know, men talk about coming out of school and, let me go to college and get this degree, and let me go to trade school and get this XYZ. All that stuff is good. All that stuff is a part of life. Getting certain knowledges and getting certain levels of experience. But I'm gonna tell you this, brothers, the most important thing a young man can do coming out of his household is searching for his mission first. That may mean forfeiting college for 4 years, 8 years, 10 years. That may mean, hey, let me not go and get certified in welding. Let me take a trip. Let me get on a bus trip and go from California to Florida. Just to see the world a minute, find myself. Pull a Santiago. Let me just take me a road trip. Let me get on says I have no obligations, I have no kids, I have no house. A young man at 21 years old can say, you know what? Let me get on a bus in California, take a trip to Texas, give me a job at a fast food restaurant or whatever, man, and kind of just see the world, feel the vibes, go on to Florida, go on up to New York, and spend the next year, man, the next year and a half finding myself, submerging myself in different cultures, rubbing elbows with different people. Let me find myself so I can define my mission first before I go spend money on tuition, before I go spend time in a trade. Brothers, you have to define that mission first, man. Because if that mission isn't defined, you'll find yourself 25, 30, 45, 50, giving up in life. Waving the white flag, man, because there's nothing to get fulfillment out of. You know what I'm saying? Mission, brother, is everything. Another thing a man must do is whenever he finds that mission, It must be something he loves to do. It must be something he loves to do. And this is the thing, brothers. And this is where you can get caught up in the whole, you know, the whole American dream or whatever, right? When I say something you love, brother, when you find out what your purpose is, when you find out what you want to do, if you want to put yourself in a position where you'll never quit, do something you love. And I say that meaning like don't get caught up in, well, if I go to school to be this, if I'm an engineer in this or a scientist in this or a lawyer or XYZ, then it'll give me a certain amount of money. It'll put me in the 6-figure mark. It'll put me at 225 a year. And now I can live the life I want and get the fulfillment. Again, brothers, don't get caught up in the fulfillment. Especially in the year of your Lord 2023, there's nothing a person can do and not monetize it. I don't care what hobbies you're into. I don't care if you're into basket weaving. I don't care if you're into collecting army men. Even if you want to play video games all day, there's nothing a man can do in 2023 and going forward that he can't monetize. But the thing is, again, and I said this before, if you do something you don't love, but you'll quickly burn out. And I'll tell you this, you can do something that you don't love and get a big bag from it and burn out. Because again, you're not being fulfilled. Even when I quit my last job, man, my last job, brother, was a paid very good, man. And I found out quick, brothers. I found out quick that getting a bag is not fulfillment. I didn't feel like the service that I was offering was helping mankind in any way. So yeah, I was able to, take several trips, buy several things, live a certain kind of life. But again, there was no fulfillment. So when that burnout came, there was nothing inside of me to say, you know what? This is going to be the fuel for you to keep going. I didn't love it. I didn't love it, man. What I do now, just waking up, I don't care if I'm on the block, if I'm down the street at a restaurant eating food, if I'm downtown Dallas, if I'm on the phone with my brothers, I'm working. I'm doing what I love. I'm talking about enlightenment. I'm talking about men being better men. I'm talking about the power circle. I'm talking about how we can give back. I'm talking about connection with source. You know what I'm saying? There's not a point in time in life where I'm not working now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing I do outside of that. It's like if it's outside of that, I really have no interest in it. I have absolutely no interest in it, man. So it's like that's where you get your fulfillment in. That's where you get your fulfillment at, man. So do something you love. And don't look at it as, you know what? I don't know anybody that's getting a bag off of this. Like I love being a vegan, or I love collecting baseball cards, or whatever it is, man. It's like, but I don't know anybody that's getting a bag. Brother, you got 1,000,001 platforms you can get on now, man, and talk about anything. Brother, you talk about anything from a passionate place in order to enlighten your brothers and sisters on it. Brother, money is a byproduct of that, man. There are universal laws surrounding those type actions to give back. You love making music? Brother, get online. You got brothers playing banjos on the internet, man, getting a bag. You got people online dancing. You got people online talking about you name it. So, brother, there's no excuse, man. Tap into what you love, man. Do something you can do forever, man. I remember hearing Bob Proctor, brother. Rest in peace to Proctor. I remember he was on an interview some years ago, and he'd been doing this. He'd been doing this for a while. He was probably in his 60s at this point in time. And the guy interviewing Bob said, "Well, Bob, brother, you've made a lot of money. You've done a lot of things." He was like, "When are you gonna stop doing this? Like, when are you going to retire?" And Bob Proctor said, "I'm going to do this until the day I die." And I understand that now, man. And I can remember when Bob Proctor died, man. I remember one of his last speeches, man. He was full of gray hair, man. He was skiing off, falling. But that brother still had that same passion and still delivering that same message. And it wasn't long after that, man, when the brother passed on. So the brother stood by his word. Because you have to understand, when you're doing something you love, man, you're not working. You're not working. You're simply being fulfilled. You're simply being fulfilled. And I'm going to tell you, man, you can go get the biggest chain, the brightest shoes, the biggest crib. Get those things. Don't get those things, brothers. Trust me, I'm not saying don't get them. But understand no fulfillment comes from that. Those are the byproducts of you moving the way you should move, doing the things you're supposed to be doing. I'm telling you, brothers, it's all about never quitting. It's all about never quitting, man. And one thing you brothers gotta understand, man, is you have to find your why. Like, you have to find your why. I always talk about, I remember when I went from the transition, from 2019 to a certain point, I said, man, my son was my fuel. Like, when I saw a world that I couldn't obtain, I said my son was my fuel to get to that point, brothers. But now as I've moved into a different energy, it's like, now, man, helping my brothers now is my fuel. When a man calls me, man, and says, bro, like, that stuff you told me, man, it helped me and wife, or helped me and my girlfriend, come to a better understanding, or put me in a different level of masculinity to help me understand women. Like, I couldn't get women before, man, but I understand now that focusing on purpose and moving in a different direction will make me more attractive to women. When a man tells me my life has been stagnant for 5-10 years, man, like, I've been hearing what pastor been saying. I've been hearing what the imam been saying. But the way you broke it down, brother, it made so much sense. Now my life is starting to move now. You know what I'm saying? Now that's my why. When I hear brothers that were in the same situation as me said, bro, like I considered taking my life. And something you said, man, snapped me out of it. When I didn't understand why my world was caving in, brothers. Like something you said snapped me out of it, man. That's my fuel now. That's my why. That's what gives me the energy to wake up and do it and not really care about the byproduct. Just because I move in a certain energy, just because I walk in my I am, just because I plug into the source, the law of compensation is going to do what it does. But again, that's not my fulfillment, man. Your why can't be the dollar bill, bro. As soon as your why becomes the dollar bill, man, I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time before your life goes down. Because the dollar bill is going to do what it does. You're going to have some good months, especially as an entrepreneur. You're going to have some good months, some good years, and some flat years. Maybe you might have some low years. So if you're emotionally attached to that dollar, brother, man, you looking for trouble, man. I don't care what your world does, man. I don't care how fast it crumbles, brothers. Simply don't give up. Simply don't stop moving. I don't care if you wake up every day and put 5 minutes toward your craft, toward the direction you're going, man. And the rest of the day, you kind of sitting there going through some things, going through some light depression, going through some heartache. Brother, we're human. We're going to experience those things. Don't let me or let anybody on the internet get on. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. You have to be very careful about this internet. You have to be very careful about what you're seeing on IG. You have to be very, very careful about the content you're consuming on YouTube. Because when a person puts out the vibe that life is just grand and they have no issues, but you have to be very cautious about taking information from a person like that. I don't care, and this is the thing, brothers. It's not even about dollar amount. I don't care what dollar amount you hit. Life is always going to be challenging you. That's what life is. Life is a series of overcoming challenges. So when a person puts themselves out there, man, like it's all to the good. Like my marriage is perfect. My bank account is fat. I'm in tip-top shape. Nothing in the world is ever being affected. Brother, that's a major red flag. When a man can't come online and tell you, bro, like every once in a while, man, I find myself tiptoeing on that bridge. Every once in a while, I'll find myself getting stagnant. Or every once in a while, my relationship does this. Or bro, man, 2000 and so, bro, I had a bad year. I hit the bottom. If a man can't tell you that, brothers, be very cautious, man. Because this internet, this social media will have you fooled. This social media will have you following people that are really setting you up for failure. It'll have you following people that when things happen in your life, you don't know how to react. You don't know how to sit still in the silence and recalibrate because they're not telling you that. They're acting like it's all peaches and cream, brothers. And I'm telling you, even the best of the best, I don't care how many blue checks they have on their social media. I don't care how many dollars they have in a bank account. I don't care how fit they are. I don't care how bad the chick is on their shoulder. They're still going through life, brothers. Of course, it may look different. My bottom in 2009, inshallah, I hope I never see that again. But that don't mean I don't still have my bottoms. I want my bottoms. I desire my bottoms because that's where my growth is. That's where your growth is. But the thing is, what you have to understand, brothers, is when you're down there, man, just don't quit. Just don't shut it down. And I'm telling you, the only way you can do that, man, is understand what fuels that. What can put a man in that? And it's having a mission. It's doing something you love, and it's having a why. Like, that's the recipe, bro. That's how a man continues to go and never stop.